The Saints go into their bye, and I guess it's a good opportunity to sit back, catch your breath, exhale a little bit, kind of evaluate where you are through 10 games and look at what you're hoping to learn about your team over the next 7 games, considering you're really not going to be playing for anything of significance, which we well know. It was a pretty miserable start to the season, the longest losing streak and worst start for the Saints since 1981, of course, when they had the first overall pick back then. So a dramatically different feeling this week going into the bye, coming off a win where you're feeling good about Tyler Shuck's performance as opposed to what you felt just 7 days ago when the Saints were amid that awful losing streak and that awful start at 1-8. But there is, one position I think that's worth looking at here. I mean, they're all always worth looking at, but we've talked a good bit about Blake Grupe and his start to the season. He's 17 of 23 on the year. He's missed 6 kicks. He's missed 1 from inside of 40. He's missed 2 in the 40 to 49 range. He's missed 3 of his kicks beyond 50 yards, which really is a problem because last week against Carolina, you had 2 opportunities at manageable kicks, one from 45, one would have been from 57 just before the half, that you didn't even attempt. And I know the argument, well, there was wind and I'll save it. This is the National Football League. You got dudes out there drilling 67-yarders. I mean, even kicks that, I was watching Sunday Night Football. There was a kick made from 57 that would have been good from 70. Upper middle of the net. You have to be capable of that. You have to be able to score when in the National Football League. You have to feel confident in the guy you're running out there is going to get you points. And those instances where you're not even confident running him out there, that's really a problem. So they can lean into their confidence in Blake Grupe and feeling like he's got great upside and ability, but ultimately it has to translate. I don't care if you hit it 350 off the tee on the driving range. Can you pump it down the fairway when you get on the course? I don't care if you chip and putt for days on the practice green. When you're standing over a 12-foot putt on Saturday at the Masters, can you drain it? That's what matters, and that's the same thing with kickers. And it's got to be a miserable life to live because you can have ability, but you have to be able to perform. Cade York's a great example of that. LSU has not had a more talented kicker, leg talent, in the history of the program than Cade York. He was a 4th-round draft pick. They used a 4th-round draft pick on a place kicker. That's how good of a talent Cade York is. And he just can't figure it out consistently to stay on an NFL roster, which is really disappointing, but that's the reality. And you don't get to just keep missing kicks. And I bring this up because Justin Tucker's suspension has been lifted. He agreed to a 10-week ban on the personal conduct policy investigation, which regarding all the allegations about the massage therapy sessions. He's a free agent following his release by the Ravens. So he served his time, even though he wasn't on a team. But now he's available to be signed. And so you weigh 2 things with Justin Tucker. Number one is, do you want the distraction of a guy who has the personal conduct policy history hanging over his head? And I guess the way that I look at it is he was suspended, he served his time, are you willing to bring him back? If it's too much of a distraction, then I guess the answer is no. If he makes your team better, and again, he was penalized, he served his suspension, he's available to be signed, are you willing to sign him? You could absolutely argue that you have a guy that now is near the end of his career. At one time was the most accurate kicker in the history of the league. He's a 5-time first-team All-Pro. He is, by any measure, a Hall of Fame kicker, has a Hall of Fame resume. Spent 13 seasons in Baltimore, but last year was the worst year of his career. His field goal percentage rate was 73%. The previous low was a decade prior, 2015, at 82.5%. Again, his career low was 82.5%. until last year when it dipped to 73.3%. So I think you weigh the question, are you willing to live with the allegations? That's number one. If the answer is no, then it's like multiplying by zero. His ability to kick, not kick, whatever, it's no, right? If you're not willing to live with the allegations. If you are, then it's absolutely worth a flyer. Now, the other part of this is the Saints stink. They're bad. They're 2-8. Maybe you look at the next 7 games as a real-life tryout for Blake Grupe for the rest of his career in New Orleans. Because Tucker isn't a long-term solution for you. And it might make more sense for a team that's in contention for something, that's having issues with their place kicker, to sign Justin Tucker to get them through a season where they're actually competing. The Saints aren't competing for anything. So it might make more sense to play the long game and continue to risk or invest, I should say, in Blake Grupe. Unless if you think Justin Tucker has a second act. Because, we can look at someone like, Morton Anderson, who spent 13 years of his career in New Orleans. The Saints thought he was done. He goes and kicks for Atlanta for another decade, becomes their all-time leading scorer. Tucker's 35 years old. How much more does he have in him? I don't know. He did have the worst season of his career last year. Does that mean he's done? I don't know that either. But if you told me you might have another 3 to 5 years of peak Justin Tucker, prime Justin Tucker, I would take that over figuring out what you think you might have with Blake Grupe. But if nothing else, I would certainly bring him in for a workout. I'd try him out to see what's there. Because you're another 2 missed field goal game by Blake Grupe away from throwing your hands in the air and saying, this experiment is over, and it's not fair to the guys on the team right now who are trying to win games that the guy you keep paying to kick can't make kicks. I mean, the first 2 games of the season, Blake Grupe cost you. Undeniably. He has cost you opportunities to win games this year. So, how much longer are you going to live with that? My hope would be you would at least, if you're okay with the allegations with Tucker, having served a suspension, you would at least bring him in for a workout to see if there's anything left in the All-Pro Future Hall of Fame leg for Justin Tucker, because that may be a better option for 3 to 5 years than continue to try this charade with Blake Grupe to see if he's ever going to figure it out, because it sure doesn't seem like he will. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.